today we're talking about options that a person can choose to benefit their health, and it centers around this particular month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. For the record, today is October the 13th, 2024. My name is Jonathan Jones. It is my pleasure, my privilege to be your host and moderator for this afternoon. Thank you very much, Bernard, for being co-host, and others, Jeff Ashby, Errol Woodham, for also helping to support the call. We have a number of things that we want to share with you, and we're going to have an opportunity to hear from Dr. Prasad also, and break down for us some information about what this dreaded breast cancer situation is. But I thought we might maybe share one or two stories with you at the beginning, to help you to understand just how powerful, how brilliant this man is. You see his face right there on the screen, just how amazing his discoveries are. And maybe you'll know someone that could benefit from attending this presentation. It's still not too late to give them a call, even now, to get them to come and join us. Look, we're required by law to relate this information to you, that the FDA has not evaluated the statements that we're about to make. Testimonials that you hear are anecdotal. Results are atypical. And that means that what happens to one person may or may not happen to you. So neither the Healthcare Support Association of America, Engaged Global, Dr. Prasad, Jonathan Jones, nor any of the authorized representatives are making claims that any supplements that we recommend will treat or cure any disease state. This presentation is for information and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for a visit to your doctor. We recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. And that is very good, solid advice that you're getting right there. So we stand by that. But here's what I like to do. I like to just share. I found this one story that popped up some time back. And this woman, her name is Marie Houston. Marie might even be on the meeting today. But she shared this interesting story. It wasn't directly breast cancer, but it was an issue that she had with a wound. So again, for the record, thank you for joining us. My name is Jonathan Jones. It may very well help you to understand. Doesn't matter what the situation. We have a number of was breast cancer folks that are helping us out here as co-hosts, but we've got several of those who have. In fact, Jeff Ashby is here, and he's the one that first introduced me. That's not the right one. Hold on. Oh, there she is. Yes. Marie Houston.
That's it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, I have to say I admire you and all of the other people that are there taking us through all these different Zooms. I love it. But I just wanted to give a brief story on my experience and a couple of other people, but I'm not going to take up a lot of time. Okay, now I am a diabetic. I have rheumatoid arthritis, irregular heartbeat, and that's enough. Okay. Now, I started taking these products through Miss Roberta Rice. I have to mention her. And this was in November. I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel in my right hand. And I had a breast infection in my left breast. And this was at the end of October. First, I had the carpal tunnel surgery the third week of October. Then I had to turn around and get my breast operated on the fourth week of October. Okay, I had put in an order to get my products. I do the microdaily EMF, probiotic, and the collagen. Okay, the first few days after I got home, okay, I made up my mind, I'm going to start taking these products. So I went ahead and started them. My left breast was open. I could see the raw. And they told me that this would have to be packed for a couple of weeks. It was a little longer, maybe 3 weeks. Okay. After all of that, I went back to my doctor for my breast, and they were so amazed. They said, your breast is healed. And I said, it is? And I could see that I couldn't no longer see the scarring because it had to heal from inward outward. Okay. Now, I had all of my products with me when I went because I wanted them to make sure that I was doing the right thing. They looked at those products and they all said, this is some good stuff. Matter of fact, I got some of their emails and they may be listening in too. Okay. But I got a raving review on that. My carpal tunnel, it's healed. I'm telling you, these things have given me so much energy. I will be 72 years old this Sunday. And I have a second floor. I have to go up and down steps all the time. And I cannot believe that I can go up and down my steps like I do now. And it was a time with this arthritis. I love to whip my mashed potatoes, old school. Okay. And I got to where I couldn't whip. I said, oh no, this will never do. Now I can whip. It's amazing. And I have all this.
I'm going to stop. It was just amazing to hear it, and but she describes the benefits that she got from being on Dr. Prasad's formula, and I remember several times when she came on the program, interrupt the program to describe some of the results she was getting with her rheumatoid arthritis. And the one thing that we can say now that we hear on occasion is that some of the folks who get benefits like this and they have a better quality of life, no one is expecting to live forever. And I just got a direct message from her niece that she passed away just recently. So, and I was not aware of that. So, my condolences to the family of Marie Houston. But her story will help others. So, because we're not at all talking about any products or supplements that's going to cause anyone to have to not die. Because that's going to have to an eventuality that we're going to experience, unfortunately. But as Dr. Prasad has mentioned many times, it's about quality of life. Corleen, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Roberta Rice and Marie.
Absolutely. I just want to say thank you, Jonathan, for sharing Marie's testimony. I think as we continue this journey, it's really important that we share the testimonies, when we talk about the journeys. But just being so grateful that Marie said yes, for a period of time. And I see her, I can't remember their relationship, but Miss Roberta Rice, I know they're family members, and I see her hand is up. So I'm going to
Yeah, mine's
give the
up too.
rest of
I
my
was there.
time over to her. But thank you so much, Jonathan, for acknowledging her.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And go ahead, please, Roberta.
Hello, Mr. Jonathan. Everyone, I'm Roberta Rice. I'm the niece of Marie Houston. Marie loved Engage Global and the Engage Global family. I want you all to know that these products extended her life. And I can say this because I'm her niece and I spent time with her. It extended her life way beyond, and I'm just going to say it, the vaccine that she had taken. And at the time, she was not in contact with Engage Global. I would say that her taking these products really preserved her life. She was having effects from the vaccine. She lost four, okay, she's the fifth. Five of them passed. When Marie went in the hospital, they would not allow her to continue her Engage Global products. She called me last Wednesday, I think it was, last Tuesday. And I'm not saying the product, healed or anything like that, but I can verify that it helped her. And they took her product. She couldn't take her products. And she was upset about that because I was going to take them to her. So I just wanted to share that these products are amazing. They are and helping so many people. And I know by law, you can't say they healed this, that, and the other. But one thing they cannot do is stop the healing testimonies of people that lives are improved tremendously by taking these products. I'm a witness. I couldn't walk, and I took these products, and in 3 days, I was up walking. 2 weeks later, I was at the park, my husband and I, putting in 2 to 4 miles a day, 3 to 4 times a week. So you have to give credit where credit is due. And that's all I wanted to say. Keep our family in prayer. But she said 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't be alive today if I was not taking these products. So that's all I want to say. Thank you for allowing me to share. And,
Thank you, Ms. Roberta. Thank you. This is Wallace. Thank you.
Yes. Hi, Wallace.
Yeah, I'm hanging on.
You hanging on?
Hanging on.
We're praying for you. We're praying.
Thank you.
And Wallace was such a blessing to my aunt. Her plans were for them to get married, which we know they were going to do, but they're married in their spirits. Even though it didn't happen physically, they bonded together and loved each other so very much and unconditionally. So thank you for being all that to my aunt. You are an incredible man. Thank you.
Our condolences, Wallace.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. She gone.
Yes, and we understand. We understand. My wife is right now. Her brother just died 2 weeks ago, so that's her oldest brother, 74. So it's happening. It's unfortunately one of the things that's going to be taking place. But this is the reason why we're working as hard as we are to keep getting the word out to folks, because again, the one thing that we now know as a fact is that when a person is putting certain nutrients in their body, their quality of life as they age improves. And so that's the one thing that we're trying to continue to pass the word about. So, but anyway, our deepest sympathies and condolences go out to all of you who are losing loved ones.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have one more story that we'd like to share with you before we go on to talk with Dr. Prasad. This story came from an anonymous source. The woman wrote up her story. She did not want to have her name mentioned, but she wrote in detail exactly what happened to her. She was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer, and she tells a story. She tells an amazing story of how she feels she benefited from taking Dr. Prasad's formula. She had a bad reaction to a conventional treatment initially, and that's what motivated her to go 100% towards something as an alternative. So we have an AI voice that's reading her written story. Okay, so I'm going to share that with you now.
And once you have cancer, then they become a therapy, different issue.
Right.
From prevention point of view, you have to know why it happens. Therapeutic is now you have to know how you can kill cancer cell without killing the normal cell.
Right. Well, I've got another story I want to share with you that I think illustrates that very point. In this case, the first one we heard, the client, the patient, took chemotherapy along with, your formula the entire time and went through many rounds of chemo, many rounds of radiation. This story is going to be a little bit different because you'll hear it in her story that she had a real bad reaction initially, and that changed the course of her choices after that, from that point on. So there's no explanation as to why she had a bad reaction. There's nothing said. All we know is her version of it. And I can only say at this point, just for everyone's benefit, she wishes to remain anonymous. So that's why she's not sharing the story. I'm not telling the name. And all we have is AI reading the story. So we just have an AI voice reading the story.
That's
all right.
fine.
So if you can't hear me, if you can't hear the story, then someone stop me and then I'll try to start it up again. Okay. But it's going to take about 4 minutes or so,
Sure.
again, because AI is doing the reading. And I didn't want her to leave out any of the details either, Dr. Prasad. So I'm going to send this one to you because I think this is one we can gather up the data also and make it into an observational study. Okay.
My experience with breast cancer. A friend of mine was diagnosed with breast cancer shortly before I was scheduled to go in for my annual physical checkup. Due to my very busy schedule, I would have typically delayed my annual exam since I felt well. I went in for the mammogram and had to wait longer than usual to get the results. I had felt what I thought was simply breast tissue or muscular tissue in my breast. It didn't feel like what I imagined a lump in the breast would feel like. So, I mentioned this to the sonographer who would be performing the mammogram. Unfortunately, this did turn out to be a cause for concern for the radiologist. He sat down and explained to me that he suspected I had breast cancer. He recommended a biopsy and a breast MRI, which I did get. To my surprise, the ultrasound and breast MRI confirmed the radiologist's suspicions. Next, I had a biopsy done. So, about 2 weeks later from the date of the mammogram, it was officially confirmed that I had an aggressive type of breast cancer, invasive ductal carcinoma, grade 3, triple positive for estrogen, progesterone, and the HER2 protein. I was stunned since I felt well and had spent thousands of dollars trying to eat healthy, organic foods. Afterward, I was referred to an oncologist and assigned a breast navigator. I had many questions for each one. Their solution to my health crisis was the conventional approach, surgery, 12 to 19 rounds of chemotherapy, followed by radiation. I didn't like any of these options. A family member encouraged me to seek a second opinion. The second oncologist recommended chemo first and then surgery afterward and indicated that the cancer was very aggressive and had already begun to spread. So, I finally consented to take chemo treatments with the hopes of buying time to try a natural approach. Taking chemo was a disaster. I came near to death after receiving the first round of chemo for only about 30 seconds to 1 minute. I couldn't breathe. My lungs were rapidly filling up with fluid and my heart was as if it were going to stop beating. I truly felt as if I was drowning in water, but I was only sitting in a chair while receiving chemotherapy. I tried to get up from the chair to call for help, but I couldn't get up quickly enough. A family member who had accompanied me, fortunately, ran to get the nurse who had administered the chemo. She issued some kind of alert to notify the doctor on duty, and staff came in droves to assist with this crisis. She pumped me with a huge dose of a drug to try to quickly reverse the effects of chemotherapy. Fortunately, I was able to breathe again and the fluid in my lungs seemed to dissipate. For 2 weeks, I was affected by the decision to take chemotherapy. I was in bed for about 2 weeks. I struggled to get up or to walk about and had great pain throughout my body. The pain was excruciating. Nothing I took would stop the pain. I prayed earnestly for help. And, finally, relief did come. A family member gave me water with an electrolyte powder mixed in it. Eventually, after much prayer, I went off to sleep and later woke up feeling somewhat better. I resolved in my heart that I would never, ever take chemo again, even if I had to die. This decision angered the doctors. However, I was determined not to repeat the horrible experience I had with taking chemo. Two dear friends spoke with a relative of mine about microdaily and how it had proven helpful to many individuals with serious illnesses. Since I was determined not to go the conventional route of receiving chemo, I decided that doing something would be better than doing nothing. I began to go on a regimen of 27 EMF capsules each day, 9 in the morning with breakfast, 9 at lunchtime with food, and 9 in the evening with food. Although I refused to continue with the conventional way of treating breast cancer, with surgery, chemo, and radiation, I did want an oncologist to continue to monitor me over the months to advise me on the rate of the spread of aggressive cancer. So, several months later, I went to a new oncologist who decided to get a baseline of how much the cancer had progressed. He recommended that I, at a minimum, go and talk with a surgeon about my diagnosis and have a PET scan performed. During all of this time prior to seeing the surgeon, I took the microdaily religiously. I believe that in the oncologist's heart, he was sure the cancer had spread. However, when I got the test results back from the PET scan, there was no evidence of cancer found. The surgeon was shocked. He found it very difficult to believe that the cancer was undetectable. He finally admitted that I had experienced a miracle. Next, I went back to follow up with the oncologist. He stated that these tests, such as the PET scan, are rudimentary and that the cancer must still be in my body. So, I had an MRI done a short time later. Either it would confirm that the cancer is still present or confirm that there was no traceable cancer left. After I had the MRI done, the doctor who read the MRI results put in the report that the previously detectable malignant tumor was no longer present and that there was no longer any evidence of any cancer on the scan. When I returned to the oncologist for the follow-up visit, he told me that somehow, I had experienced a miracle and that God, my God, Jehovah, must have helped me. So, I was free to go and no longer had to stay in jail. He simply recommended following up 6 months later to retest to confirm that the cancer was still untraceable in my body. I'm so thankful to the Creator, Jehovah, to a dear family member who kept searching to find something to help me, and to the two dear friends, Jonathan Jones and Bernard Dean, who introduced microdaily to me. I'm a living testimony that microdaily can really work for individuals diagnosed with breast cancer.
So Dr. Okay, so that's the
That's
entire
amazing.
story. And we're going to get some comments from Dr. Prasad here in just a moment, but we really want you folks to hear that story, and which was just unusual. It's an unusual one, and she so carefully documented and was very detailed and specific
That's
about
amazing.
everything
Yeah.
having to do with her situation. So again, folks, remember that results are atypical. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. And these statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This is for information and educational purposes only. So I'm just going to flash a couple screens here that just show the basic statistics with breast cancer. You can see the numbers there. 2024, 310,720 new cases are expected. That's a pretty high number. 42,250 would die from breast cancer in 2024. And that's why this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And it's amazing. It stands out as one of the biggest awareness months of the year, because you'll see professional athletes running around wearing pink shoes, pink shirts, pink hats, pink everything. It's everywhere because everyone acknowledges that this is a very serious, condition, and it affects almost every family is affected one way or the other. A survival rate, there's some statistics there from the National Breast Cancer Breast Cancer Foundation. And again, so there we go. So let's just talk a little bit with Dr. Prasad. I think I have some information here on Dr. Prasad. No, I do not have it right here, but I'm going to introduce Dr. Prasad to our discussion now. Dr. Prasad has an incredibly storied background. He was a professor of University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years. brilliant man. He was invited to be a member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee. He has been published more than close to 300 times. He's still publishing new work right now, and he's authored some 35 different books. He just came back from a trip to India, giving a lecture to a bunch of scientists and doctors about his research that he's going to give us just a snippet of, even right now. So, Dr. Prasad, once again, sir, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to our discussion.
Thank you, Jonathan. I always enjoy every Sunday with you and engage family, and whatever I can help, I am always there.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, that's very obvious that that's the case, and we know that you're just as excited as we are about it. So what do you think about that breast cancer case? We had the one case there with the breast infection that healed up faster than was expected. That was Marie Houston. And now we have this other anonymous case where she had a real bad reaction to conventional treatment, and she only used 9 capsules of EMF 3 times a day. Very specific in
Yes.
what she, and the doctors have said she healed up. How is this possible, Dr. Prasad?
Yeah, because when you know that cancer cell requires 2 nutrients for survival, one is glucose, another glutamine. And when you also, if you know that high dose antioxidant, like you are talking about it, 27 capsules a day of micro daily EMF, they become high dose antioxidant. They block the uptake and metabolism of both glucose and glutamine. So cancer cell, no matter what kind of cancer cell it is, no matter whether it is resistant or sensitive to treatment type of tumor, they will die. And so I think this is what you think, but when you get the results like this, then you say, my God, this could be true. You see what I mean? You propose a hypothesis based on what is there in research and your own brain, but how do you know it is true?
Right.
Now, this kind of observation makes me think that, as you know, we have patent on this issue, but problem is that when they heard the word antioxidant, oncologists gets afraid to use it because they think about low dose. They can't make a distinction between low dose antioxidant and high dose antioxidant. They are correct if you are going to use low dose antioxidant for cancer treatment, but for high dose antioxidant, they are totally incorrect. But it is not their fault because they are not trained in this area. And this is a brand new area that has not been approved by the FDA. And as you know, our goal is to finally get approved, but we are getting a lot of resistance. But I never give up, so I keep trying it.
Yes, yes, so very good. Thank you. Well, we're glad that you're not giving up. And we have a growing army that is going to be doing all that we can to help you with that fight. And we are gathering information that you'll be able to publish in observational studies that will
Yeah,
help.
observational study, this can at least stimulate the research. And NIH can fund, almost overnight. When they see results like you described, 2 cases, if they become a real observational study with the approval of the local people, oncologists and so on, that will be amazing. That will be, that will change. You wouldn't believe that will change the new mode of treatment of cancer at very cheap. Hardly will cost $25 a dose. I'm checking the price, how much it will cost, but it will be very cheap, and so everybody in the world can afford it. And as you know, and so I'm not saying that you should not use the radiation or chemotherapy. I'm simply first you try this at least for a week before going through any other modality. And I'm sure that if the oncologist sees it, that it is decreased some, they will say, okay, I will wait for another week. And then he may require a little bit of radiation or chemo, or don't require in her case at all. So it will be a trial and error, but finally, I think during my lifetime or after lifetime, this is going to happen.
Yes, well, I'm hoping that it will as well, sir. We're excited that that we're on this journey with you,
But see, until we publish, nobody knows it except us.
right?
You see
Okay,
what I mean?
well, we're gonna change that, Dr. Prasad. We're trying to hunt down the oncologist down there
And
in that.
I assured them, oncologist and the patient, we will not give their name at all,
Okay, good,
just by
good.
number, patient number 1, patient number 2.
Okay, very good, very good. Then that's what we'll do, and we will continue to pursue. In fact, that one case right there, that was their biggest concern, is that they want to remain anonymous, but once they're assured that they will have anonymity, I believe that she will be very willing to go to allow her story to be told. So
Mhm.
we'll go for that for you. We do have another story that we'd like to share, and
Sure.
she's here with us today, as a matter of fact. This is Iris, and we've shared Iris's story before. So, Iris, if you're willing to come on and share your story, and then also give us an update of of your current situation, that would be very helpful. Are you here?
Yeah.
I'm here, Jonathan, and how are you?
Very good, very good. We're always excited we tell your story a lot, so it's not often that we actually get you right here to actually be able to go ahead and share it with us
Yes,
real time. Can you raise your hand so I can find you? Oh, are you the Samsung here device?
I'm the Samsung.
Okay, all right,
Uh,
yeah. Okay, yeah. So you're just on audio only right now. Okay, so please go ahead, Iris. Tell us your story and then give us a current update.
you see me now?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, hold on. Then we can add you. Ah, yes, very good, very good. Yeah, so good to see you again.
Yes, yes. It's good to be seen, Jonathan. Yes, yes, yes. In 2018, Miss Levette and I, we have always been close together. And that's when I was diagnosed with cancer. The thing they call DCIS. But then, in my mind, something it wasn't right. So I ended up going to Northside in Atlanta. And come to find out, they had misdiagnosed me. Within 1 week, I was a stage 2. So I ended up having the surgery. But before I had the surgery, Miss Levette gave me some macro dailies. And she told me to just take them and just take them before you go into surgery. And I did. And when I went into surgery, I had both breasts removed. And 3 weeks later, I promise you guys, I went back to work. Didn't feel not one pain, but God. I end up having my skin dyed. I have what you call thin skin, and my skin dyed where you was able to see my ribs. And by seeing my ribs, I had to go back and have another surgery. But I've constantly taken the micro dailies. So when I had the surgery, 3 weeks later, I went back to work. I never hurt. I promise you guys, I never hurt. So after I did that, I had 8 rounds of chemo, never hurt. Had 33 rounds of radiation,
Wow.
never hurt. Miss Levette could tell you, she like, Iris, come on, you're not hurt. No, I could get up, I could do anything I wanted to do because I was faithful to those microdalos. I was so faithful to them. So I kept taking them, I kept taking. But then I ended up, I wanted surgery. But then when I wanted, because I wanted to look like all the different women, what, the perky boobs, everything. But then I believe me, God spoke to me. Jehovah spoke to me. And he told me, how can I use you when you're perfect? I couldn't understand that. And he came to me again and said, how can I use you when you're perfect? And what he was telling me was that my test will become my testimony. And see, that's why I'm able to tell everything like I tell, because I'm telling my own testimony. I can show people the scars that I'm having and that I have. And, you know, like just in case I'm coming up to a young lady, I deal with young people all the time. And, you know, they're going through cancer and they're wanting to know that what if, you know, they want to get married? What if they want to look a certain way at the age of 20 and 30? I'm like, baby, the thing's gonna kill you. If you know, and if somebody loves you enough, you know, hey, you better take care of yourself. I talk to them about the micro dailies right here in Albany. I don't know if people believe me or not, but I believe what I'm taking. And there's another thing, another story that happened recently because I'm doing very good. I have no problems whatsoever. But Jonathan, I thought I was doing so good I could stop taking the micro daily
Oh no.
because because I felt so good, but I was so busy. I'd be speaking everywhere. I'd be doing all kind of things. But then I started feeling sluggish. I started feeling, and then I take these pills called tamoxifen, and the tamoxifen side effect is what achy bones, achy muscles. I started hurting all over. But then I got to thinking the macro dailies. So I started doubling up on the macro dailies. Within a day or two, Jonathan, I promise you, I started back feeling good. And I'm telling y'all, I know that you said that micro dailies don't save nobody life. At least you can't say it. But I tell you what, I felt like it saved my life. And I would not go without them. And I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, Jonathan. I tell everybody on here, micro daily is my second husband. Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Iris, for giving us the update. You're an inspiration to a lot of
Yeah,
folks,
yeah,
and
definitely.
we're
Definitely
happy
very
to
Thank
much.
you so
Yeah.
much.
keep us informed on this too. So it may be maybe Dr. Prasad, that may be another one of the stories that we can
That will be a very good observational study.
get documented also. So Iris, I will be getting back in touch with you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So and in her case now, Dr. Prasad, she took all of the conventional
Right.
treatment, everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just as you predicted, your hypothesis was that it would reduce and mitigate the side effects
Yeah.
and help a woman get through the
Yeah. Not
process.
only not only acute side effect, but as you know, those treatment also causes a late side effects,
Hmm.
namely either same cancer or new cancer at new sites or non-cancer disease like uh, difficult to wound, difficult to heal, muscle damage. So there are a lot of non-cancerous diseases. So it will also, we don't know right now, but we will predict that if we have protected against acute, it will protect also against late adverse effect of treatment.
Wow.
So you
Wow.
take
Well,
the best of the both world. But
mhm.
she did never started just alone for a week at least going before the surgery, which is okay. I mean, whatever way you think is most appropriate for you and your oncologist, that's the way to do.
Yes, excellent, excellent. Well, her story is quite fascinating and amazing to hear.
That's amazing. All the three stories are amazing. Nobody will believe if you tell them.
No, 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 Dr. Prasad, and that's why we try to capture these as much as we could
Yeah,
for the benefit of those down the road in the future hearing this, because otherwise, and here she is right here live telling us again. We've been sharing her story probably every 90 days for the past 2 years now, and Iris is still here telling her story, and we're just excited for her also with that.
yeah,
But for the benefit of those who are here now, still trying to figure out exactly what your recommendation is. Folks understand something. Dr. Prasad has said this very clearly and in no uncertain terms that cancer cells require these two things. They must uptake glucose and they must uptake glutamine in order to survive. And the reason why high dose antioxidant has this impact on the lives of these individuals is because it blocks this process.
Yes.
So it's high dose antioxidant that does this. Microdata just happens to be loaded with high doses of antioxidant when you take
Yeah.
it in therapeutic doses.
Right.
Okay, so
Exactly.
that's the coincidence, and we're just going to say it's coincidental. But
So simple. It is so simple. You know.
yeah, you say it's so simple, but Dr. Prasad, we're blown away.
But I mean, any very good idea have always a lot of resistance, so I'm not worried about it.
That's right. That's right.
Keep
Well,
trying.
really that you decide to put your neck out there and put your name to this simple hypothesis
Yes.
that
Yeah.
you need to know.
Yeah.
So, are you hearing this, people?
We have
Deprive.
published this information, so
This is now published information and no doubt reviewed by peers, and no one has refuted it because it is a fact. This is a scientific fact, just like gravity and just like the sun and the moon is where it is. This is
yeah,
a scientific fact. Okay.
right, exactly.
So take a screenshot of that, folks, and then you've got hardcore scientific documentation right there in front of you. So Dr. Prasad recommends that a combination of probiotics with microdaily EMF is the
Yes,
best
this is a must. This will
combination.
further enhance the effectiveness of micro daily if you combine them with probiotics, but no collagen peptides.
Right. So the probiotic is so important because it, as you said, tilts the bacteria in favor
Yeah,
of.
because the harmful bacteria, what we call intestinal dysbiosis means number of harmful bacteria increases and number of beneficial bacteria decreases. When this happens, we refer to them, that population of microorganism, intestinal dysbiosis. And when that happens, and it happens to all people who are aging with or without disease. If you have disease, the extent of intestinal dysbiosis will be more severe. But if you are still old, there would be intestinal dysbiosis. And when that happens, intestinal dysbiosis, those bacteria, harmful bacteria, produces a lot of toxic chemical, including the most powerful one, pro-inflammatory cytokines.
Mm.
You may have heard during COVID-19 cytokine storms, but in this case, it is not that severe, and therefore it is gradually damage all your organs, and then you ended up in disease as well. So not only you will have a poor quality of life, but also increased rate of all those kinds of incidents of diseases. So I think if you take these two EMF therapeutic dose, we call it a high dose antioxidant, plus the probiotics, you will be in a good shape as far as the cancer is concerned, and quality of life during treatment if you decide to take chemo and radiation.
Very good, very good. And here's a picture of it, folks. This is the
This is a
EMF.
preventive dose, right?
Yeah, this is just the regular dose here, the EMF hydro, but you would take triple the normal amount here plus one extra dose. So instead of
Yeah.
3 capsules, it would be 9 capsules 3 times a day. That's what you heard the anonymous breast cancer survivor say, and it's the same thing that Iris was taking. And here is the probiotic, and this is the twice a day, Dr. Prasad, or just one a day?
And you can, if you have a cancer, you can take twice a day.
Take this twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you need 4
with food
of the micro daily, 4 boxes or 4 bottles of micro daily.
That I don't know how many bottles it will happen.
Yeah, they need 2 of the probiotics. So I'm telling the audience that they're trying to figure out.
That's right. Yeah.
4 micro daily EMF and 2 probiotics. Okay, that's your formula right there. So
right there. Yeah.
is order 2 of this one right here. This is the basic bundle right here. So
Yes.
what you do is you order 2 of these and then 2 additional bottles of Micro Daily, okay? And
Yeah.
that's your combination to make sure that you're at the therapeutic level for everyone, okay?
Right.
It's for our audience. So there you have it, folks. And then just these are the other products that Dr. Prasad has formulated. Each one of these is beneficial in its own right. And the person who invited you can help you to understand it. The only thing that Dr. Prasad recommends against is taking the collagen peptide if you have active cancer. So you don't want to take the
Right.
collagen
Right.
peptide in this
But
case.
for other people, it is very important.
For the
People
rest
who
of
are
us,
normal without
yeah.
cancer, collagen is extremely important for your health.
My wife and I take this entire combination every single day, and my mother-in-law is on this combination every single day. My
Me
mother-in-law
too.
lives in Boston, and she's actually doing pretty good. She's almost 94, and
Oh,
I like it that way. I mean, I like her aging, but she lives in Boston, so it's a good thing. So
but also that if you have any, this is a basic one, but if you have other issues, for example, some people while aging may, not everybody, but some may have eye problem, then you take the eye boost. Some people, but not everybody, may have a brain fog or something, then you also take a brain. And we have also recently developed heart formulation. Somebody may have some heart problem.
and high blood pressure, yeah.
So it depends upon what kind of status your health is. You can further substitute with not everybody, but once we think that you might be useful.
That's exactly it. So for all the rest of us, like you heard Marie Houston tell her story, Dr. Prasad's formulas is overall quality of life. That's what we're all
Yes,
experiencing.
yes, yes.
Overall quality of life. Every little joint pain that I had experienced, I'm no longer experiencing. So my finger, I know when I've made a mistake and skipped a dose of Micro Daily, by the way. This finger right here will hurt right there at the top joint, and my big toe will hurt, and my knee will start giving me some trouble. So that's how I know that I forgot to take a dose or 2 of Micro Daily. But the cost is unbelievable. If you are buying the Core 4, this is more than $1,000 worth of product. If you bought the individual items on the label, if you pay for this retail, you see it's $310. But the subsidized cost from Engage Global is less than $200. So that's the best option for you right there to buy that entire bundle. For those who are not fighting cancer. If you are fighting cancer, take the collagen, put it in the refrigerator, store it away. You could take that later once you're declared
Right,
cancer
exactly.
free.
Yeah.
And then just add additional Micro Daily as needed. But these are the bundles right here as they come. But the person who invited you to this discussion, they'll be able to help you to figure out exactly what combinations will work best for you. So for this entire month, we're going to be, talking about breast cancer. It's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we'll be back again next week. So if you know someone, in fact, by a show of hands, raise your digital hand, please. If you know anyone that could have benefited from this presentation today, please raise your digital hand so Dr. Prasad can be aware of it. We want to see just how many hands go up. If you know someone who was not here today that could have benefited from hearing this discussion, please raise your digital hand. It's like all the hands are just flying up there, Dr. Prasad. We have 83 devices connected to this discussion right now. And the recording itself will get viewed probably 200 or 300 times. And if everybody who's got their hand raised up right now, if there's somebody that you care about in your life, please invite them to come back again next week. And we'll get Dr. Prasad to tell us a little bit more about breast cancer, some of the causes, the way that they detect it early, and why it is that early detection is all good and conventional treatment is all good, but exactly some of the ways that adding these micronutrients can make a difference, just as you heard in these testimonials. And we'll have some more testimonials for you too, by the way. We have lots of them, folks who have benefited from following Dr. Prasad's suggested recommendations here. Okay, so that's quite a number of hands, Dr. Prasad, and they're still going up. So I think that tells the story, huh?
That's okay.
At some point, Dr. Prasad, we're going to hopefully be able to turn this around, right? Someone
Yeah.
raised a question down here in the chat. What
I'm
should we take?
going to try in India too, next week, October 2nd, I'm leaving. So I will be away for till November 16.
Oh, you did not have you did not give the
No,
lecture in India yet.
I'm leaving on October 2nd and coming back on November 16.
Okay, November 2nd, you're leaving.
No, 16. No, October 22nd.
22nd. Okay, I got you.
And November 16, I come back.
Oh, okay. I thought you already gone and come back. Just
No.
about to ask you some questions about your trip. Okay, well, we'll look forward to hearing that story from you then.
Auntie, I want to appreciate Jeff taught me how to present my work to other people, So he has
Yes,
spent an hour to teaching me. So thanks, Jeff.
that's beautiful. Thank you, Jeff, for doing that. So here's a question in the chat, Dr.
Absolutely
Prasad. What should be taken to promote bone healing after arm surgery? Someone has raised that question, Dr. Prasad. What should they take to promote bone healing after arm surgery?
What they do? Well,
It
I
has
mean, the question is you want to have a rapid healing. So for that, I think a preventive dose with probiotics, omega-3, collagen peptide would be great.
Okay, should they add the should they add the
At least if they can't afford it, at least preventive micro daily dose and a probiotics and omega-3. At least 3, they must have it.
At least those 3.
Hmm?
Okay, all right, very good. Excellent. Did I see we have time for maybe one more question to sneak in here? Is there another one in the chat?
Jeff had a question, looks like, but
go ahead with your comment, Jeff, please.
No, I was just going to say it was my pleasure to help Dr. Prasad. I can't believe how quick he picks up even the tech side of things. I mean, he's so smart when it comes to understanding the human body, but even getting a new camera and then understanding how to do all of the presentations. I mean, look at him go. Yeah, he's an example to all of us.
and those things were donation from Jeff. I didn't have to buy it.
That's a beautiful thing. We have one last story here that's in the chat. This is from Monica Patterson. She says she's been diagnosed with cancer twice, 2005 and 2011. And at present, I have a wound caused by an infection over 2 years now. I've been taking microdaily supplements since May 2024. She lost 4 ribs from radiation. Infection, she got sick a couple of times, and she's been taking the products, introduced to several friends and relatives, even doctors, patients at the office right now. People see how the nutrient has helped me, and I have since arranged to have 4 sets of the core 4. I would tell more later, and I'm very happy due to the surgery in January 2025, but doubt that I will have in the wound is healing. Okay, so she has had very good results on the product, which is
How much she was taking?
And Monica, are you taking the therapeutic dosages of microdaily? Monica, if you're still here?
Because if you think the what do you call preventive dose is not going to be that effective at all, it could be harmful in terms of growth.
It sounds like she may not have been taking the right amount, Dr. Prasad. So, Monica, the encouragement is for you to take higher doses of the microdaily. So get back.
And higher dose is defined 27 capsule a day, 9 morning, 9 noontime. That's a must, and probiotics is a must.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. So if you're getting marginal results, Monica, that's what we're expecting. Okay.
Yeah, look like you win.
So, Dr. Prasad,
yes.
Thank you once again, sir, for your presence with us today, and for all that you offer to each one of us, and the changes that you're making in people's lives. Everyone, if you'd like to say goodbye to Dr. Prasad,